All right, everyone. This is First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich. Been an early start to the day for a lot of us because of the tornado warning. We'll talk about that in a minute, but I want to talk about what's going to happen the rest of the day. Here's a wide view. Again, this is about 9 a.m., and you see this big kind of orange box here. This is what we call a mesoscale discussion. This means there's a 60% chance of a tornado watch being issued for areas east of I-77. You can see, especially the eastern part of the state. One thing I did want to show you is what we call significant tornado parameter. And while it's not great, you can see these areas of pink. These are going to be building up along this line. And anywhere along this leading edge, there's a potential that we could get some rotation within the storms that develop there. Now, you notice temperatures are only in the 60s and 70s, but there's really juicy air. Look at these dew points, mid 60s, upper 60s, even low 70s. Advecting in here. And what's happening is back here in northeast Georgia and areas around the upstate, and then again down here in northern Florida, there's a couple waves of low pressure forming along the frontal boundary. And what I'm going to show you is what we call the 500 millibar relative vorticity. There's a little vort down here, there's a little one here, and then there's a main one back here. So what I anticipate happening later today, even this afternoon, is we're going to get an area of low pressure to form somewhere in here and rotate up, and then maybe another one down here that's going to rotate up along this line. And anywhere to the east of it, where you see this big area here, we could get embedded supercells, or what we like to call rotating thunderstorms. So the potential is certainly there this afternoon that we're going to see some of these storms develop and maybe become severe. But right now, the threat is all about flooding back to the west, heavy rain falling in many locations, and that's going to continue throughout the afternoon. Let's look at what some of the future model data is looking like. I'm going to throw up the HRR model, and again, this is just a quick look at the evolution of this system. You can see as we go towards about 2 o'clock, it looks like that wave of low pressure does form in the upstate. If you look carefully, you can see this little comma shape to it. And again, this would indicate to me that we're going to see the potential for some strong storms. So let's back this up. I'll show you the high resolution models. I think this does a little bit better of a job. And you can see as the system kind of develops into this afternoon. And again, we're going to go towards about 8 o'clock. So if you look carefully, this is again, this is 17Z, which is 1 p.m. this afternoon. You can see we've got all kinds of embedded strong storms within this line, and then moving off to the east through the evening. It takes a long time. That's a lot of rain. This is through this evening. I mean, just look at this loop. I'll start it from right now, which we're at 13Z, which is basically 9 a.m. You can see through the afternoon, there's some really, really heavy rain and embedded possible tornadic storms in there, especially east of I-77. There's plenty of shear today for tornadoes. When I'm by shear, I'm going to show you that right now. You see all the shear on there. To tap into the shear, to get a storm to rotate, you need the storm to build up, and you need heating of the day to get the storm to build up. And it won't take much, even with the cloud cover around. Just a subtle change in temperature could produce some serious rotation. You could see all that shear. Everywhere you see the pink, you got enhanced storm relative helicities above 250, which is well in excess of what you need for tornadic storms. Or look at the Cape. This is the one thing that's kind of lagging. There's not a lot. You see the light shades of green. It's near 1,000. Certainly looks like the possibility is there. So going into this afternoon, I'm certainly going to be watching that potential for tornadoes still east of I-77. Doesn't mean we couldn't see one west, but the chances are pretty minimal. It's along this leading edge, and I'm already starting to see some cells try to bubble up down here in South Carolina. Quick check of the radar. I'll widen this out here. You can see the line moving through Charlotte right now. Heavy rain. Leading edge moving towards the sand hills. Now, let's go back to this morning and talk about what happened with the storm, which I think there was possibly. So we go back to this morning, and what you're looking at here are the storm reports. And the first thing you notice right off the bat is we've got a whole bunch of reports right along the line of where there was a possible tornado on radar. I'm kind of shading that. And again, this has mainly been tree damage, very small trees and limbs. I would say roughly from along Interstate 77 near 485, from Arrowwood up towards South Tryon, Remont, and then up towards Moorhead. A lot of tree damage. So That's right along the track of the rotation. The National Weather Service will have to come out and survey this, but just based on the radar data and the damage, something went through there. Probably a weak tornado. It wasn't strong, and it was probably skipping and hopping along, but I do think we had a weak tornado touch down this morning. So that's just a quick update. I'm heading into the station right now. Larry and I will have you covered throughout the morning, and I'll have you covered throughout the afternoon. Of course, follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Get our mobile app. Go to wcnc.com. We'll keep you updated throughout the afternoon. While the severe weather threat, like we had this morning, that one tornado warning, is always scary. Remember, the number one threat today is going to be flash flooding. It's going to impact far more people than the severe weather. We'll keep you up to date on both, but please don't let your guard down on both of them, even though one has a higher threat level than the others. Hope you're having a great Thursday. And I'll see you today, hopefully, at 4 o'clock and not before, because that would mean we've got more severe weather.